The cell door slams shut, and you are locked in. With the warden standing safe behind the gate, you turn around to see him sitting at the table in an orange jumpsuit, handcuffed to the table. The room you're standing in is plain, with grey walls, a black floor, and only a couple square panel lights placed into the ceiling. One of the chairs in the corner of the room has a missing armrest, whilst the one closer to the table is ready for you to sit down. The man cuffed to the table is just sitting there. He has no visible signs of expression or emotion. Quickly, you try to determine how he must be feeling, but struggle. He's not tapping his foot or smiling. You can't tell what is going through this man's head. He will be hard to interrogate. You instruct the guard inside the room to leave. This way, the criminal in front of you might open up easier. You're not scared of him because he's tied to the table, which itself is bolted to the floor. As he leaves, you place your bag down at the door and hang your coat up on the peg bolted to the door. As you turn around, the man begins to crack his fingers and stare into your eyes. His expression toughens as he leans forward in his chair. Now, a little nervous inside, you decide to remain stoic towards him. You walk towards the chair and forcefully slam the chair into the table, preferring to stand. The man remains unfazed. He will speak, and only speak when spoken to. You loudly profess as you stare down to him. He leans back in his chair this time. You throw both of your palms onto the table and lean forward into his face, asking him questions about a string of recent murders occurring in your neighborhood. This criminal was caught and locked up after the sixth victim was found, her body viciously mutilated and burnt to a crisp. Your job is to try and find out why he killed these 6 people. You return to your bag and open up a file containing some very graphic images of mutilated bodies, throwing them on the table for your subject to see. He simply looks down and looks back up at you, almost like he doesn't even remember killing these people. Pictures of headless corpses with cuts running up and down each leg, hands with unequal amounts of fingers attached, limbs cut off and reattached, almost looking like a laughable attempt at reanimation. But still, the psychopathic temperament of this killer causes him to remain unfazed, emotionless, almost like this was normal to him. Shocked at his inhumane response, you begin to question him. Your hand reaches for your pen in your coat pocket, and you begin to take notes of what he says. His plans are too elaborate, and his methods are too violent. You're forced to transcribe all of the brutal things not even the top medical examiners in the morgue could discover about these victims. After he's finally finished describing the 6th victim, you turn around to think, what is wrong with him? What could cause a man to do all of this? Horrified by your conclusion, you start turning around, when all of a sudden you hear the lock on his cuffs moving. After turning around, you see the lid of your pen inside the lock. The man instantly stands up and rips his wrists out of the cuffs. Startled at his sudden apparent size, you reach for your revolver, but he grabs your hands and moves them away from your holsters. His hand ends up around your wrists, while his other grabs your neck, with his fingers gripping into your windpipe. The guards on the other side of the door hurry to open the door. As your eyes slowly begin to close, you still see no emotion in his face. He just looks directly at you with his fierce eyes. Eventually, you start struggling to keep your eyes open. Your arms fall limp and your eyes roll back into your skull. Your killer falls to the floor shortly after you do, with the guard firing the taser at his chest. He was too late.